All right. Are we live for the first time ever? This is my first stream, so it's gonna go um probably very terrible. But it's gonna be fun and we're gonna have a good time. It's a good opportunity to just sit down and write some music. Um and hopefully it will turn into something over the next few days and we'll get a finished piece out of it. So, hello, and it will go up on the YouTube um, afterwards. So if you're watching this on YouTube after, then hello, thanks for being here. Subscribe, like all the YouTube things. Okay, let's get into it. So, I got Logic up and should be able to see everything if I have everything set up correctly. You should be able to hear everything coming through the stream. So we are going to just get right into it. Yeah. So I already have kind of sort of started just something already. I've been kind of messing around with a melody in my head a little bit. So I have it written out here in the piano. And it's just something that will hopefully over time it will take shape and will become an actual, kind of decent product. Who knows? But this is kind of how it always starts, where you just kind of noodle around on the piano. I usually start with a melody, find something that I like, try to expand it, create an actual form out of it, and then as the actual composition unfolds, it can turn into something else, and it'll kind of reveal itself as the composition unfolds. So this is the little melody that I've come up with. I wanted something super kind of innocent and lighthearted, and maybe a little romantic, or just kind of feels good, I think. Especially as we kind of get into the harmony and the counter melodies and everything as we move forward. But this is just the melody itself here in solo piano. Yeah, that'll move on to something else. But I think at the core of it, there's a kind of A major, starting with that leading tone pickup note into the main melody, which I mean is just essentially a arpeggio of the A major, C sharp E A. So that's the one chord. And move over into D major, which is the 4 chord. With this, added ninth, which is kind of part of the melodic structure, but it does add a little bit of kind of harmonic interest, so I'm not just sticking solely in the arpeggiated notes. So let's see. And then after the 4 chord, we go back to 1. Super simple. And then we go to the 5 chord. I mean, you know. Again, with the added ninth in there, gives very a little bit more harmonic motion going on. And that's what's kind of how that melody sits in its simplest form, right? So, kind of written out a piano, the harmony underneath in the left hand, but give it a little motion so it's not just block chords the entire time. Little triplet there to add some extra rhythm. Of course, resolving back to the 1. Let's see. All right. So, and then I've already kind of written out a little bit of strings. I knew I wanted to have just the solo piano for the first phrase of the melody. And then as we get into the second phrase here, that's when the strings are going to come in. I'm also going to double the melody up here in our legato clarinet. So the clarinet's going to come in. And just, basically just double the melody with the piano. All right, so let's see how this is going to work. This has the strings and the clarinet in it as well, and the flute. So it's very simple, and especially in the string writing, kind of get the violins and the violas bringing in a little bit of a counter melody, just a descending line. What string am I on? A little descending line in the upper strings. That's a very simple, very common approach to counter melodies. It's just when you have the melody kind of get to the end of a phrase or in the middle of a phrase, when it gets these kind of long notes here, those are good places to insert some sort of counter melody. So again, there we go. Cello is just holding down the fort harmonically. Just kind of outlining the chords. Super simple. That might change in a little bit. But, that's what we've got so far. And now we're gonna get into some the actual weeds of continuing on this piece. We'll see how it goes. We're gonna have this kind of continuous bass line as we kind of do this rising arpeggio, just outlining a major between major 7 and add 9 chords. So again, we get that G sharp. That's going to resolve up to the A. So we get just the standard A major. And then we're going to have the add 9 in some of it. So we get, you know, it's a little more sparkly, I suppose, with that B added in. But I think the thinking is we're gonna have this kind of just gonna hold in the key of A here, and then here at measure 14 is when we're gonna change things and get these violins playing that melody. And we're gonna do this melody twice. Once here, obviously, and then second pass over here. And then we'll go into something after that. Something like that. So it might be good. Let's see, how are we going to do this? I'll play it over here. I'm gonna figure out what octave we want to play this in. That's the end of the phrase. You know, sometimes you gotta go back and refresh your mind on what exactly you wrote. Right. Okay. Let's just punch that in here at measure 14. Hopefully we're not going to mess up. Okay, let's see. Metronome on. I actually don't like doing the actual record button. Right? Where now I can play whatever and it'll record. What I like to do instead is just have it play like this, so it's not actually recording, and then play along with it. But once you press stop, it obviously does not actually record it. So then I can go in and I have it set to Shift R, which is this little thing where the capture, flashback capture what you just played, except without. So you can kind of test things out as you play, especially if you're like me and you mess up a lot. Like that, you mess up there. Now I can press Shift R, capture that entire phrase, what I just did. I'm gonna find where I messed up. That should be enough sharp. There it is. Okay, let's go ahead and quantize that to eighth. Wait. Except for the triplets here. I'm going to quantize everything else to eighth notes, except we're not going to go 100% strength. I never like doing 100% strength. That makes it 2 on the grid. Doing something like 83 gives it a little more variation, a little more human quality. I'm going to come over here and do the same to the eighth note triplets. Okay. Now, this is a legato patch, so low velocity notes, these really like dark blue purplish ones, will do a like a glissando or a portamento between the notes. Ooh, hello, piano. Which is not always what we want out of our legato patches. So what I like to do, especially with legato patches, is just take them all. We're going to bring them down so they're more level, and then we'll drag our velocity slider up. Now everything is much higher velocity, so we don't get quite as much of that here, play it loud so you can hear it. That gliding in between the notes. Right, so, but with higher velocities, we don't get that as much. But that also does mean that every time there's a break in the legato notes, such as right here, which we're going to cover up, that does mean that the following note is going to have a higher velocity attack, which you just got to be careful for. Right here, it's a new phrase. We're starting on that leading tone again, so I do want there to be a break and a kind of a rebowing. But for each of these individual phrases, it can all be done with one bow. See, that came in a little strong, so we're going to come here and drop the velocity down. There we go. Yeah, same thing. You get that lot of front of the note on these high velocity legato notes. Sometimes, you know, you don't hardly hear it, but I like to be very, very precise with these sorts of things. Right there. So this is going to be a low velocity note, so the front of this phrase is not quite as intense, but the rest is going to be high velocity so that we don't get that portamento effect between the notes. You know, sometimes there is an instance where you do want that, of course. But I don't think I want it here. Right there, because it's a repeated note, you gotta pay close attention to note links here. Let's see. I think this is a little long. And this is a very sample specific. But these Spitfire samples do like to run a little long, so it will kind of blur this gap between the notes a little too much. Sounds pretty good. I might bring the velocity down on this note just a little bit. That sounds good. Now, I haven't recorded any CC data, whether the dynamics or timbre, whatever it's called, expression. That'll come later. Right now, I just wanted to get the notes down on the page. Right, so. Okay, let's go to violin 2, and we might do the same thing, except down an octave, perhaps? We get a 2-octave melody. Might even want to change up the melody in the violin 2 and put some harmonies in there. I don't know, but we'll get the we'll get just the melody down for now and see what happens. Especially since we get into that very low register, Shift R, low register of the violin way down here. You can see even on the virtual keyboard, you can see here that it's getting close to the gray, so it's low for the violin, which is all right. It has its place, but okay, we're gonna do the same thing. Let's adjust our velocities. Go through, make sure everything is connected legato-wise as we want. Let's quantize. I'm going to quantize it a little bit different than the violin ones. I'm going to do a little bit stronger, just because I don't want the notes sitting exactly on top of each other. Sometimes that can introduce issues. Okay, here we go. Make sure all our legatos are covered. They don't have to be covered very much. They can be super small. Now there is a moment in the melody, the piano melody, and I think is different than what I have going on here. It's back to the right here, back to the one chord. We get the G sharp is right at the safe note. Oh, look how he did it. I'm so smart. Except for the violin one. I knew I had something wrong. Just a little bit of variation there. Also gives us some room in between notes for the other instruments to do something interesting. But we will see how that's going to go. Let's see. How's our violin 2 velocities? Might be coming a little hot there. I was messing with this note, so it was kind of clipping out some of the later notes. What was that? You're a little strong. Still strong. You know, sometimes samples can be weird and unruly, so I might have to edit this with fader moves, which I'll get to in a minute. Okay. So, both of our violins. Obviously, the mix is not how it will be in the end, because I haven't done any CC data on there. Yeah, I'll definitely have to do some carving out there in that last note. But that's alright. That's how it happens. Okay. Do we want the piano to play as well? Why not? Might end up changing the end of that phrase so we kind of go into something different. So I'll take out the pedal there. Let's see, where are we going? This is in the same register as before. I don't know if I keep it there. I'll leave it there for now. I'm indecisive. We're gonna quantize this just a little bit. So we're not getting any very strange tempo variations between the voices. We'll go on for left hand too. I'm gonna do the same pattern. Right, yeah. I don't know if I want to do the same pattern or I'm gonna do a ascending arpeggio like that. I'm gonna play it in both hands though, because that makes it much easier. Let's see how this goes. I might actually go to the E there. So we don't have any inversions in our chords. I'm not sure if that is ideal, but that's what we're gonna go with for now. Oh, a double note here is fine. Let's go up an octave there. And let's take out these two notes actually. That'll work. And we can do the same thing. Technically, this would be in the left hand. You know, something like that, but why work harder than I have to? I'm going to change it a little. There we go. Walk down the scale there? I don't know. This is where it gets, just gotta figure things out. We're going to keep it in the key of A, so we don't get B sharps or anything, or A sharps. You know, if we were in the key of E, we're not going to do that. Ooh, we do need C sharp there. Yeah. That's seventh in there. Well, let's track it and see what happens. Ooh, I'm done. That's the second phrase in the melody, so it obviously goes down to the we're going to resolve back to the 1. So, okay. kind of changes things. I don't know if I want to do this kind of left hand motion like that then. Let's see what happens. Yeah, no. Let's do something else. Maybe. It's kind of a little bit of what the left hand was doing before, except slightly extended. It might only work for these first two measures, the A and the D. Not so sure about our 5 chord there. Sure, why not? A little more harmonic motion went on. Who knows? Might work. 5 chord. I don't know if I want to do that same thing though. Sometimes you just gotta play it and figure it out. There we go. Nope. Possibly. Why not? I'll have you double your upper voice as well. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. That's the thing about it. Sometimes you just gotta keep going and it will reveal itself. Yeah, the piano melody in the right hand is just supporting the violins. It's not actually holding the weight of the melodic material. So I think we're gonna bring in our bass longs now. What are we going to do with them, you might ask? Sure. Let's see. Wait, when do I want them to come in? Maybe something like that. I'm just gonna move this to the legatos because on the fly there, I just kind of wanted a little more bass motion. I know this is not a lot; they're just playing half notes, um, but get a little more motion going on in the bass here after the obvious long note here, which we're gonna just stay in the tonic there. Let's see. A little loud. I think I might see. Might turn this into a whole note, drop you down to E. Why not? Maybe. Okay, let's okay, so something that I do like to do as well I'm going to add another instrument here at the bottom. And I'm going to add in towel noisemaker. It's a little super simple. Oh boy. Super simple synth here. Right? Very 8-bit almost. I have this preset called bass support, which is something I created. That is just it's just a sine wave with a little bit of this sawtooth. It's very quiet. But obviously I don't use it way up here, but we're going to keep it nice and low. We're going to duplicate the bass line down here. Go ahead and rename our channel. Ooh. That way, might actually be a little low. I think I always bring it up an octave here in this synth. So you can hear it's the same bass notes. And I duplicated the region exactly where it's at, so these notes should be playing at the same exact time. What that does is just gives this bass voice just a little more bottom edge. As you can hear just the legato bass by itself. You know, it sounds good, sounds bassy. But we throw in, let's skip ahead, throw in the synth. There's a lot more bottom end to it. And I will usually go in and I'm actually going to adjust the volume of this synth right now. It's a little loud. I don't want the synth to be heard. I just want the bass end of it to be felt. I want it to be felt rather than heard. So once again, solo and muted as well. So you can kind of hear the difference. That could be super helpful, especially as the orchestration gets more thick. Sometimes you do lose, it's easy to lose a lot of the characteristic of the basses. So this just kind of underneath it very softly helps it out just a little bit. All right, what are we doing? Cello, maybe? I think. I wonder if we want to. Do we want a solo cello, maybe? I don't think my solo cello is loaded up, so I might have to wait for that. Let's see. I don't know, but there's something here, and I think the cello might be able to handle. Hello, why are we dropping. Hmm. Oh, what is it? Could be good to introduce kind of an early look at like a B melody, because right now I think, obviously this is kind of the A theme, if you will. So it might be good here to add in a B melody or a B theme, I think. What's up, Corey? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm new to this whole streaming thing, so cut me some slack. It's happening. Things are happening. Okay, so let's see. This might also mean that I have to change around what the piano is doing here, because right now the piano is kind of the center voice and it's holding a lot of the harmonic information here. But if I want to do ooh, hold on. Possibly? Maybe? I might want to do something that also introduces some non-chord tones. So obviously that F sharp is not really something that we've heard much before, but it's still diatonic to A major, right? So it's just the sixth of A major. But if I want to end up modulating for the B theme, it might be good to get a little bit of that in here now. Let's head over to our piano sketch. This is just a random, just kind of the stock piano that Logic comes with, which actually does not sound too bad. Right, it actually does not sound terrible, but it's not my main kind of orchestral piano. That's what I use. Where is it? This East-West Steinway for. This is kind of my main orchestral piano that I use. Sounds much more professional, I suppose. But I do like using this one just because it's easy to use, and it just kind of, well, it'll get the job done. So, but I'll come over here to use it kind of, as you see here, have it muted, but this is where I was working out the A theme. So let's see if we can work out the B theme here as well. Just make sure I'm in the right spot. It is also a different sound than the East-West piano, so you can kind of differentiate between the two. This is where it gets to the point of composition where it's like What is happening? What do I do now? Do I want to go to the D there? I do like this relationship. This is something that I know like Wagner uses a lot. Ooh. That seventh jump there. Thinking Tristan and Isolde uses that. Also, fun fact, Bear McCreary in the Rings of Power uses this interval quite a lot. I do love this interval. But it could fit nicely in here. That's just a fifth. And then we get into the part where it's like, oh my gosh, gotta try and break out diatonically and gotta think about how I'm gonna do that, if I'm gonna have to prepare a chord change or anything. Ooh, nope. Let's take it up an octave so I can get some harmony below it. That's D major. If I go to the C sharp there, I can change chord, that third chord there. I can go A, D, which is very similar to the A theme, right? At least how it starts. We start out with A and then we go to D. So I could do the same harmonic motion to begin the B theme, starting with A and go to D. And then C sharp. C sharp minor. Major. See, it's a lot of trial and error here. C sharp minor. I know I don't want to take it too wild harmonically. As far as like adding in ninths and elevenths, doing a lot of like jazz sort of stuff. One of the goals with this piece, I think, is I do want to keep it rather diatonic. We're not going into super wild places because, you know, sometimes keeping it very in the box, I suppose, can be good, can, you know, can work. So let's see. Do double F sharp there. Yeah, we're not going back to A major. That's for sure. Could do F sharp. I think we're getting closer. It gives us a sus4. This is the grind it takes sometimes to figure things out. F sharp minor? Which is, with the B would be at 11, but kind of still that sus4 motion. Especially since we're going back to a natural here. Sorry, I know you can't, no one can see what's actually happening on the piano. But I'm not fancy enough to have one of those virtual pianos that shows exactly what's happening. It feels so John Williams-y. Almost like Star Wars almost. Which I'm perfectly fine with that. Let's see. No, that's not it. Let's see. I do really like that F sharp minor though. Where is that leading us though? Good question. Minor 6. I wonder if we could B. No, not B major, D minor. That seems so just kind of normal, right? But I mean, it might work. A major, D, the 5, or sorry, the 4, and 2 F sharp minor, the minor 6. Into B minor, minor 2, into the 5, which is E. I mean, it's sounds good. And you know, when if it sounds good, then it is good, right? Because it's all subjective. Okay, let's go with that. Why not? We'll just get something down. I got 4 measures to do it. Is that gonna work? 1, 2, 3. That could work, and that could put us back into the back to the dominant before the A theme comes back. But obviously we're not going to get a full presentation of the B theme here, which I didn't intend to. So let's go ahead and track that here in the piano sketch. So instead of this, go ahead and delete that. Okay, here we go. I'm only going to do right hand. I always do the hands separately because otherwise it'll just mess me up and I'll have to do it again and waste time. Just kind of melodically walk it down there, and that will get us into measure 14, which is the pickup back into the A theme, right? So I don't want to get too far into the weeds of a B theme here, and we only got 4 measures. So that's why I think I'll just simply just walk back down. Because it's just a sketch, I'm just going to outline the chords here. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy in the left hand. Just going to leave it like that. Okay, let's see. Now, obviously, this is not going to jive very well with what we already have in the piano. But there is a common tone that the A is a common tone that lasts throughout the whole thing until we get to the dominant chord. Which, that kind of sound, I don't know if we want that. But the A is present throughout the A major, D major, and the F sharp minor. So we can keep like bass note here. Right, it can actually stay. I might just move it up to the E 2 beats earlier, but we're going to figure out if that's going to work here. Let's see. Right now I still got the rest of the piano sketch playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim. Hello? I'm going to trim this. That way I can mute, excuse you, you right here should be in this measure. There you go. I'm going to mute this region so we don't have that playing because we've already tracked all that out. It's not terrible with the rest of the piano, but obviously this is not what we want. So I'm just going to grab all these notes. Go ahead and mute them. Except for the A, actually. We're going to keep the A going underneath. Now I got to figure out some bass note here. Might actually work, keeping the bass throughout. I'm going to, because we kind of keep the A in the bottom, and because it's, if the piano is holding the melody and everything here, that kind of pedal tone is not going to clash too much with the rest. If I was playing the melody down here, right in the same range as the pedal note, then it gets very muddy. But if we keep the pedal and make sure that the melody is above it, then sonically there's some space there, and we can keep this for these first two beats, and then it resolves up to the dominant here. But what I just said might actually have to be a little different if the piano is going to play it, because right now, of course, they're in the same. This is the piano sketch and the actual grand piano. You could see the harmonies are right on top of each other, so that's that kind of spacing that we don't really want. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and delete these just to get them out of the way because I don't want them anymore. Now, what do we want to play the melody? Honestly, make cor anglais. I love the cor anglais. Maybe. Uh, let's try that. So I'm going to let's. Ooh, this is why I don't like doing the record, because it makes me freak out and mess up. This is why I just play it straight and. Or I'll just do the same mistake. G sharp, come on. There we go. That's why I like doing the capture recording lots more. Okay, let's quantize you again. Not going to quantize too much. Want to get it closer to the grid, but still a little bit off, just to maintain some of that human element. Let's see. Okay. And again, just like the violins, what we did earlier, I'm going to make sure our legato notes are overlapping when we want them to overlap, not overlapping when we don't want them to. Like right there, I don't want it to overlap. I want that to be a re-articulation, like if it is an actual player. And then there, obviously. If you heard, there was not a lot of space. This re-articulation was not very clear, so I'm going to back the previous note off just a little bit. It's a little too much. Yeah, it's fine. No, I think all of these notes I want to be re-articulated, so I'm going to chop them a little. That might change the further we get into it. But we'll leave it like that for now. Again, I'm not worrying about CC11, CC1 just yet. I'm just trying to get notes down on paper. And usually once I put the melody where I want it, I will come over here and I'll mute it from my sketch so that I don't have to hear it in the piano anymore. It's not bad. Might double that in, let's see, maybe bassoon. I don't want the bassoon to get too low because it will clash with the low basses doing the pedal note. So I might have him kind of walk around their register a little. Let's try that. But then if I do that, now I've got to start thinking about all sorts of weird things. Okay, I see there I messed up, but I got the first half of the phrase down. Yeah, I think I'll hop back up the octave there. Yeah, why not? Okay, let's see. Again, the same places as cor anglais. And I want rearticulations to happen. Like right there, I do not want a rearticulation, and this also needs to come down in velocity. Okay. Make sure all these are connected. Again, I think this might change later, but having all these rearticulated. Not bad, not bad. I come in a little hot there, though. Some of this stuff will change once I get the CC data in. Might want to go ahead and resolve these notes, which I can just do by the pencil. Just throw in an A, just resolve the melody. As we get back into the A theme. We still do have piano sketch playing our harmonies, which kinda what harp? I always do love adding harp in. So nice. And some not glissandos in the harp, but just arpeggiate the chords maybe. I'm going to solo, cor anglais, harp-bassoon, piano, and our harp. So I get the harmonic information in the melody. Let's back up a little. That's not very rhythmically correct yet. It's like I don't know how many flourishes I want. Maybe I think I could fit 4 in, but I don't know if I want to do that. No, 4 would make it go way too fast. What I could do is triplets, 16th note triplets. It could work because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 notes. Then we get 1 back up top on the A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then end on the C sharp before going to the 4 chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I might do that. The problem with triplets is that they're very hard to record. Yeah, like that was a failure. So what I'll do is just try and play it, and then I'll have to go in and actually edit the MIDI. Let's go ahead and take all of them. We're going to make them all the same length just because it makes it easier to work with. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This one, for example, should be beat 2. Like that. So I got way overconfident with this first arpeggio. So let's go ahead and we're gonna take this, quantize it to the 16th note triplets, but now we're gonna have to really get in here and change them around. Just like that. We're gonna actually quantize it a little stronger just because I like things like harp to be a lot more precise. Like that. Ooh, hello. Okay. Um, Now, since I have that done, I might just delete and copy and paste, and then just change up for the um, different chords. You just got to go through and double check, make sure all the notes are correct. So, what was our third chord? We went A, D, F sharp minor. Yeah. So, I'm gonna have a repeated F sharp. Might change that. Might throw in a different note there. But I gotta go F sharp minor, so that means we need A naturals. Let's turn this so can't hardly hear it right now. Thing with harp and like harp and piano or a lot of other percussive samples is that the volume of the notes is actually velocity based dynamics and not CC based dynamics. So I'll often just leave CC11, CC1 as they are with the sample, and then just change the dynamics based on the actual velocity of each of the individual notes. So now we need E. There we go. You know, something like that. It just fills in some of the harmonic information without using piano to do it all the time. So I'm going to mute that. And these are copy and pasted, so their dynamics are a little off from everything else. Again, all these dynamics will probably end up changing once I go in and record dynamics in our expression. Okay. All right. It's been an hour and a half. I'm going to take a very quick break. Now we're back. We're also standing now. It's important to stand. But that does mean if I do want to play piano or something, might be a little difficult because I'm going to be down here. Woo. Okay. Where were we? Let's see. Let's go ahead and listen to everything we have thus far. I know it's not much, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's not bad. It just, especially here in the second iteration of the A theme, you know, it's just gonna need a good bit more fleshing out. Right? I mean, right now it's just the violin, piano, and bass. So there's definitely a lot of stuff that still needs to go into it. I don't think this needs to be filled out much more than it is. I might bring in some very soft bass drum hits there. Super soft. Just on the downbeats of each measure. Let's try that. Things like percussion strikes, depending on what they are, they can have some stronger quantization to them. Like especially this one, the very first one. I'm actually going to do 100% just so we get the right on the downbeat. Let's bring up our velocities just a little. Obviously, I don't want it to be too massive bass drum hits. Okay. I always do love the celesta too. But maybe not yet. Yeah, not yet. Put that on our back pocket and come do it later. I wonder, what I do love is the, love using the Royal Albert Hall organ as well. I mean, this thing is just insane. It's gonna be loud, but. Love that organ. But you know, it might not work. Might find a place for it. Might not. We'll come back to it. What can the rest of our strings be doing here? It's a good question. I wonder. Let's go to our legato cello. Nope, not up there. Sometimes it takes trial and error, so we're just gonna noodle around and see if anything we like comes out. No. so far, nothing we like has come out. There's something there. But I don't know what. Hold on. Let me capture that recording. That might be good. Getting a bit of a suspended B in there. Ooh, not that high. Before resolving back up. Let's see. Possibly. Let me delete this because I want to record that in later. Hello? Why did this fall to the depths of the earth? No, not that. We had it the first time, but what's happening to my stream? I'm dropping frames. If anything's happening to it, I apologize. I don't know what I'm doing. Obviously. Let's try and work this out before it ends the stream. Just have it join in with the rest of the melody there. That could work. You do not need to be such a low. And I might actually have this happen a beat earlier. I wonder if I want this to happen a beat earlier as well. It's my chord there. Let me just double check. D major. So I might actually suspend you one more time. Yeah. Okay, I can work with that. All right. Let's see. YouTube, I think, is screaming at me, so I'm probably doing something wrong. So, I think we'll listen to it one more time and then call it there. This is very trial and error, trying to get the stream to work. So if everything's not as smooth as it should be, still working it out. Right now, that cello's kind of dominating. But, I mean, that's not terrible. I quite like it. Um, so, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. It's just a lot of trial and error, a lot of just figuring out what I like and then letting the music kind of unfold as it gets written. Um, so I think I'm going to end it there because the stream is yelling at me saying I'm doing something wrong. So thank you everyone for coming out if you did, and if you're watching this on YouTube after it's posted, then subscribe, like all the YouTube things, tell your mom, tell your dog, all that sort of stuff. And I will see you next time.